think the point is you want to focus and like feel that you have the right goals there. And you need to really believe in this, because my point is the goals will change, etc. But you need to understand why you do what you do. And you need to, it will be ups and downs. It is always like hey, I will be a billionaire and I will be dying homeless somewhere. So it's and this probably like 5 times per day, something like this. And this is kind of normal.
Hey guys, welcome to the Grow IT Podcast. Your host here, Alessandro Cutri, joined today by Vadim, the CEO and co-founder over at Diffco. We'll be diving into his story, much around what they're currently building with Diffco and some interesting industry insights. So definitely make sure to stick around. But without further ado, I'll kind of just pass it on over to you, Vadim, if you don't mind just telling the audience a little bit about your background and kind of how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for inviting. It's exciting to be here. So this is absolutely a great day. And let me kind of like give a quick background about what I do and how I do things, etc. So I'm in the software industry for quite a long time. Started again from internal ITs, etc. And now I have my own company for the last 16 years, and we focus on building really custom large type of projects. So typically we would build large system for growth stage startups, or as well as mid-sized enterprises and larger folks as well. And this is basically what we do. Beside this, I do some angel investing, advising on in Alchemist Accelerator as well, and building a couple of other things, and helping startups grow.
Nice, man. And so what was it that I guess prompted you to, want to start your first startup, right, in Diffco? And like, what was it that led you there in that itself?
I mean, this is quite an interesting story here. So quick disclaimer, it's was really a long time ago. So it was in 2008. And basically the financial crisis hit. And we're like, hey, why we trying to work for someone? Let's build our own thing. Yeah, I mean, was kind of young and a little bit dumb in some ways, and we decided to do this, and it was fun. And it was a little bit different ideas, a little bit different market there, but I love how it went, and I think this is the right approach in terms of the structure. And again, sometimes you need to be a little bit more insane to do things. And I think when you're young, this is the best way to try things and experiment. And again, you can fail, and this is the part of the job. So I think this is the story behind this. So we started then, and we started growing and started adding more layers, etc. Changed ideas, pivoted to a completely different market set, and build it as a much more comprehensive and focused approach. And it was focused on the web, and after it was focused on the mobile, and after it become more AI and more team augmentation approaches.
Yeah. And so specifically for your, your clients, like what do you guys, what type of problems are typically coming up from with people that you work with, and how do you help them overcome those?
Yeah, I mean, it is multiple type of problems. Let me give you a couple of examples so it will be more clear here. So one of them is really simple. Hey, I want to build something, and I need a team to do this. And it is kind of like on a high level, it is clear. But when you dive into the points, it is not a question like, can you build this? I mean, it is 25,000 different development firms in the world. And it is a large number, and you can probably find developers basically everywhere today. The main question is how you build this in a way that it will work. So it is a mix of product, first of all, with again, obviously good deliverable on code level and functionalities, etc. But to understand the real customer incentives there, to understand what they actually need, not only your customer that came to you, but also the customer of your customers. Who we building this product for? Why we building this? And what the mechanics is there? So this is the one type of problem that we're trying to solve. This is mostly like a growth stage startup, sometimes early stage as well. And for enterprises, this is a little bit different ask typically. So this would be like, hey, we know what we want to do, but we need a team to execute this quickly and knowledgeable about what we specifically want there. So it is having minimum amount of surprises
Yeah.
and basically deliver things as quickly as possible, ideally yesterday. So
Yeah.
this is more like enterprise ask. So we would, again, focus on resolving this type of issues, but also trying to better understand why they want to do what they want to do, because sometimes, again, they misaligned.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like in 2017, they're like, hey, we believe that we want to have everything blockchain.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 17, 18, etc. Now, like everyone, we want to have everything AI. The big truth is you probably don't need AI everywhere.
Yeah.
And the same as blockchain. But people just like start believing this wave of technology is different.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it isn't. So it's always the same.
And so can you give it like, you don't have to obviously like, mention any names here, but could you give an example of a company that you were able to help and kind of like, help them transform some of those things that you're talking about and, what the outcome of that was?
I think I can give multiple examples here, but in a kind of like on a simple term, we work with many large companies where it would be, again, Fortune 100 company, and they have some specific ask to do X, Y, and Z. So this would be like, hey, we want to deliver this product as quickly as possible. So for example, we have one of the banks that probably Fortune 30 or 20, if I remember correctly, the listing there.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, we need to deliver the security solution. We want to launch this basically in a couple of months, how we can do this.
Yeah.
And now this is a question not only about the deliverables, it is also a question of making sure that whatever we do is aligned with their processes, because they have a lot of internal stuff, how they want to do things. And their procurement is not like allowing things to happen like tomorrow, and it will take time, etc. So how we align everything that for the person that actually need the solution to be executed, how we can make sure that they not wasting time with this.
Yeah.
So again, this is not kind of like a one linear approach here. This is more, it's almost like a 3D chess game.
It seems very consultative, very, very, very custom, and you guys are, figuring out, what's actually going to drive impact, right? And being able to assist companies in that way, right, with establishing themselves in that specific way. So I can appreciate that, and it's probably fun, right? You probably get to deal with a lot of unique, different things that come up from from different customers in that itself.
Yeah. So you're absolutely right on this. So I think the key component here is to better understand your customer, and again, to just feel what they actually need and do your own research. Because again, the obvious truth is you will not know everything. Like it is impossible. Like I don't know a lot of things in my life for sure.
Yeah.
And thanks to ChatGPT, I can learn faster right now. Previously, it would be reading a lot of books, which is fun, but taking much more longer time to process. But my point is, again, right now you can learn and understand the problems much faster using different tools. You can do your own research and spend more time focusing on personalization there. Because again, my point is really damn simple. We want to understand the reasoning behind what the customer wants. Because if this is an enterprise and they have some kind of goal, why they have this goal?
Yeah.
And they have like a deadline that they want to launch next month. Is this a real deadline or someone just getting a promotion, etc.? Are we playing for the customer or for the person that ordered the service? So again, it is a personalized game. And to make everyone happy in the process, it's kind of like dancing between fires here. But it's fun.
Yeah, no, you hit it right on the nail on the head, right? When it comes to, listening to your customers and understanding, what they need from you, right? And that's how it's funny because I was just talking with my partner about this, about it, how it's you develop your offerings or how you what you should solve, what you should be able to help clients with by talking with them and seeing what they're struggling, seeing what they want, and seeing where you can be able to help them. And that's how you develop your new offers. That's how you should develop your new, your new frameworks is by listening to people and taking that advice from them and seeing how you could better help serve them. So totally aligned with you on that sense. But I wanted to pivot a little bit, Vadim, just into
Absolutely.
because you've been a founder now for almost it's about 16 years, about 15, 16 years.
Too long, yes,
Yeah,
correct.
so you've got some probably battle scars, right, from being inside the entrepreneurship journey, right? It's probably not always been ups. There's probably been some downs, but what type of mindset would you say is needed to be a successful, founder and entrepreneur that you'd be willing to kind of share with the audience?
I think this is the amazing question. I really appreciate this. So I think the point is you want to focus and like feel that you have the right goals there, and you need to really believe in this, because my point is the goals will change, etc. But you need to understand why you do what you do,
Yeah.
and you need to. Again, it will be ups and downs. It is always like, hey, I will be a billionaire and I will be dying homeless somewhere. So it's and this probably like 5 times per day, something like this. And this is kind of normal for many entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And this is absolutely, again, realistic. And you have much more quotes probably that you know about this, where, again, you will be having these ups and downs. The point is, again, you need to stick to what is important. You need to understand
Yes.
like what the things that you need to do, and you need to focus on things that matter. Because again, as an entrepreneur, as a founder, you will have probably like hundreds of tasks every day that you could potentially do. The point is, how many of them is actually leading you to a result?
Hmm.
How many of them is actually leading you to sales? Because
Yeah.
again, I have the great friend of mine that always saying, "Hey, sales is always solving all sins," and it is kind of true in this way. So you want to understand what you're focusing on, because
Yeah.
again, you can focus on many other things that absolutely, in a moment, you will feel that they're important.
Yeah.
But by the end of the day, the truth is, for us as an entrepreneur, it is our duty to make profit for the company,
Yeah.
and everything else is like secondary. Like, and yeah, it's a lot of things that we can tell about, like how important this thing or this. By the end of the day, it is a question: can we deliver to our shareholders, which could be us, but
Yeah.
also could be other investors, public investors, again, depending on the stage. But the
Hmm.
main question is how we can deliver the best profits there
Yeah.
sustainably and grow this.
Yeah.
And again, you need to focus and feel this, because you will have the downs. I mean, you will, again, sometimes will have the points where you have like, hey, I don't have anything left. The only thing that I have is air and I can breathe. And it is a good enough. So let's think
Yeah.
what we can do from there.
Yeah.
And I think when you have those type of moments, when you know is that shit is actually hitting the fan, and
Yeah.
you coming really close to the fan as well.
Yeah.
So the main question is how you can be in focus and understand, hey, the only thing that is actually important for us to deliver X, Y, and Z here, but everything else is not really important. So
Yeah.
let's focus on what we do here and understand how we can make it better, how we can
Yeah.
deliver something that would make us more money, how we can achieve our goals there. Because if you can, and again, it is, I strongly believe that, again, you become the entrepreneur, you're not born as an entrepreneur. So you can learn those things.
Yeah.
But this is really freaking painful. You
Yeah.
cannot like go through like wherever business schools, etc., and say, hey, I know how to run business. before you like hit the wall at like hundreds of miles of an hour, you don't know how painful it is. But when
Man.
you do,
Yeah.
now you're like, oh, I probably don't want to hit the wall again.
Yeah,
Let's do something different. And this pain
definitely.
is really helpful to grow.
Yeah. I mean, but through all good things come through pain, right? All good things that you ever do come through the having to suffer for them in order to get to the other side, right? So there's that element that you have to be prepared, right? When you're building a business, that this is the journey that you're about to embark on. And you have to be, in the right mind frame that, every entrepreneur goes through those ups and downs, right? And I think I was even listening to Elon Musk the other day, and he was talking about how he thought Tesla was going to go bankrupt 3 times, right? There was 3 separate occasions where he thought Tesla was going to go bankrupt. And I feel that every single entrepreneur that I've talked to, or people that I just network with, they've all had similar experiences, right? There's always going to be your trough that you go through, and it's about having the mental fortitude, right, and having the ability to know that, hey, I have to stick through this. I have to go through the wall, right? Some cases I have to, even if I do hit a wall, I have to figure out a way around it, right? And so it's about the never ending game of being able to, improve, right? Because you don't wake up one day and you're not just, nobody is born an entrepreneur, right? You're not born to like being on, like it's skills that you have to learn, and you learn them by going through the pain, right? And going through the journey itself. Um, I did want to did ask you, Vadim, like, what was one thing, because we always talk about, marketing and growth over here. Like, what was things that helped you guys grow your business early on from when you first started? Like, what were some of the things that you guys were doing that was able to help you guys continue to take off?
I feel that you have a really amazing list of questions that now I'm struggling to provide a quicker answer for. But I love this. So
Yeah.
I think like when we started, I think this is the point of actually again iterating. I think that the whole point of the business that you want to find your customer product fit, your founder market fit, etc. So you need to iterate and you need to test this because
Yeah.
in many cases you will have an assumptions that like, hey, I don't know, let's say I'm baking a bread and selling this in my bakery, and
Yeah.
everyone needs bread. Great. The truth is probably not. Maybe many people is not eating the bread as much as you're thinking, and maybe you just bread lover and no one else is kind of like focused on this.
Mhm.
And again, you need to understand again, ideally what the customer's needs there, and test this all over again, and understand why they buying what they buying and how the competition is actually looking. Because again, coming back to the example of our industry, we have roughly 25,000 companies in the marketplace.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole planet Earth, basically, for now. Again, in reality, when we dive in, we will not have 25,000. We
Yeah.
would see like, hey, in United States, the companies with our price lines and as well as our type of services, our quality of work, etc., we will be actually talking probably about 250, 350 companies. But
Mhm.
even if we dive deeper into this, we'll see that actual competition is probably between 50 companies, like maybe 70, depending how you calculate things.
Mhm.
And at this point, you need to understand, like, hey, what you're doing there is actually different.
Yeah.
Why? What is your deliverables there is different. And the funny enough, in a crowded market space, it is always and always about customer experience.
Yeah.
Because pricing, you can charge more, you can charge less. Again, pricing is one part of the incentive. It is not everything. And
That's
customers,
gold. That's really gold, right? I love that, right? It is about customer experience. And sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but I just want to emphasize that I agree 100%, because that's always what's going to determine the value of your company, because that determines how many people are going to using whatever that you have and want to come back and be repeat, and also how many people they refer to you as well on the back end of that.
You're absolutely right. So again, the point is how you can deliver in a ways that not only making them happier, but exceed their expectations.
Yeah.
And again, it's not always about the quality of the product. And again, it maybe will sound counterintuitive, etc. But sometimes you just need to understand what they need. And again, on a human level.
Yeah.
And what is the mechanics of getting there? And again, by the end of the day, humans is really kind of straightforward in some ways, and you can read a bunch of books, etc., and understand the mechanics there.
Yeah.
What and it's again all comes down to basic instincts, etc. And you
Yeah.
can like think about like, hey, they want to have their let's say it's an enterprise, and they want to get to the point where they growing and they have new position, they have higher pay because X, Y, and Z. I mean, the incentive is the same for like hundreds of years, to be exact. So, and or they want to be seen, or again, they want to build something that will make impact. Why?
Yeah.
Because of themselves or because of something else. My point is, again, it's a kind of like a completely different side of the same medal. But
Yeah.
also, again, understanding how you can make them more money, how you can make them more profitable. I think this is the key, because if you can feel what they need, and again provide the value there, and have this wonderful relationship, I think this is where you will create the perfect incentives. This is where
Yeah.
you
You're
will have
spot
this.
on. You're spot on, Vadim, right? Like, and I don't mean to cut you off, but
Sure.
I think because it's funny because I ask you a question and sometimes, founders will talk about marketing strategies or talk about, wanting to do this or wanting to do that, and you got to, get your name out there. But you went straight to build a better product, build it so good, not even the product quality, for example, but even the experience, right? Making it where you have an unforgettable experience where you exceed people's expectations. And then that is what's going to grow your business, right? That right there is what's ultimately going to grow you. Because I heard a quote the other day, your customers will tell you, like, will demand your growth. They'll help, like they will help you grow if you deserve to grow, right? And so it always starts with that itself. Like, how can your customers scream and shout your name from the rooftop, right? Because that's ultimately what's going to build a sustainable business. And that's what you should be striving for. Always it's like obsessing over your customer journey, obsessing over your customer experience. Like, how can you make it better for them? How can you make it more free fluid? Because like onboarding, the way that you treat you, the way that you interact with them, how they know their next steps, where they go at, all those things like matter in the grand scheme of things. And that's what is going to drive your business, to your point. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because I think that's a great point for a lot of people to take home and be able to implement when they're thinking about growth. It's like, make your product better.
Make your product better, but also again focus on a customer. I think this is like where again everyone is joking about like this wonderful thing called founder mode. Yeah. And we can talk about what kind of drug it is, etc. And this is maybe would be interesting, but maybe will be blocked on YouTube in some ways. But my point is, you need, as a founder, again, you have your superpowers.
Yeah.
You can do things that sometimes your team cannot do. And you can come from the point of authority. You can have this conversation with the customer.
Yeah.
And again, like I almost never saw the successful business where the founder would not communicate directly with the clients and would not have like a better understanding of what the client wants. Because if they go and talk to the customer, if they fully understand what they actually need, they would create some kind of incentives. They will change the product. They will have different approach to the same playbook. And again, you can make things work as a founder. And again, it's not always about your team. It is sometimes about you fully understanding what and why. Because again, why the customer is buying from you, what they buying from you. Because again, it's like, hey, they buying a service that will do X, Y, and Z, and etc. Nope. why they buying this, like, and like ask this why
Yeah.
multiple times,
Yeah.
because you will
Outcomes.
see, yeah, you will see like, hey, by end of the day, they buying this because they want to grow, or they
Yeah.
want to um, achieve some kind of results
Yeah.
inside or outside, or maybe again they just want to be fancy.
Yeah.
And again, sorry that I'm like trying to dive down onto kind of like incentives, but again, it's all primitive by end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I'm glad that you drove that point home as well, Vadim, because it's not how, people obsess sometimes over how they want to explain to their clients the way the sausage is made, but they don't really care the way the sausage is made. They just care about getting the sausage, right? In an example like that, right? They don't care how
No,
you, they
no,
want
they actually care about um, they they want to feel the this feeling after they ate the sausage.
yeah.
Not the sausage
Yeah,
itself.
yeah. No,
So it's
100%.
even much further than this.
Yeah. Yeah, taking it a step further. I think that's a great point. And probably a perfect note for us to end on, Vadim. It's always about the customer. It's always about driving, their experience and putting them at the forefront of everything that you do. And I love the way that you've articulated there. And I think, for a lot of people who are listening to take that advice, because it's something that we've been trying to embody as an organization, and really start obsessing, because I think a lot of people obsess over like growth tactics, or they obsess over like marketing and sales, and like, how can we get better here? What do we have to do this? But it's, if you obsess over the customer experience and you obsess about that specifically, that's what's going to ultimately lead to all the growth in your business. And that's what makes the best businesses, like you said, or the founders talking to their customers, figuring it out, being on the ground level and being a part of that. But thanks so much for coming on, Vadim. It's been an absolute pleasure, man. If people are listening to this, they want to reach out to you, they want to see more about what you guys are doing over at Diffco. What are some good ways to find you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's the best way is probably LinkedIn. So you can always text me on LinkedIn. So just Google Vadim Peskov there, or you can reach out to me on X. Same Vadim Peskov there. Again, or you can just go to our website diffco.us and find us there. Thank you.
Perfect. I'll make sure to include both of those in the description. Please go check out Vadim and the team. They have their Grow IT endorsement over here as well. So make sure to go check these guys out. Thanks again, Vadim, for coming on. If you guys did make it all the way to the end, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. And we hope you guys have a great rest of your day.